Hi, welcome to Made to Heal with Angela Brown. So, I come back to this aha moment on emotions quite often, so I thought I would talk about it. But just after I let you know about my class, it's for ages 18 on up, and it's an online class through Zoom. It starts June 24th and goes to September 9th. It is a weekly class on Mondays for an hour to an hour and a half, and then you get a weekly one on one 15-minute phone call from me each week to individualize it. And also, you'll get some homework sheets and a lot of tools that will help you on your journey of healing spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. I was in such a dark place for so long and dealt with depression and suicidal thoughts for 30 plus years. And it's been going on 9 years that I've been on this journey of healing. And you know what? My journey of healing isn't complete, nor will it be until I take my last breath here, until I go into the next life. And so I am so excited to share the tools that I have learned, and these are tools that I go back to all the time. I haven't had depression or suicidal thoughts like I had for 30 plus years. I'm going on 9 years of having tools, of being able to move in a healthy direction with joy and with certainty. So go ahead and click on the link in the comments below if you're interested in that. So what is it that I keep having this aha moment on emotions? Emotions are like onion layers, right? There's layers to an onion, and there's layers to our emotions. And we think, oh, I just cleared the anger emotion yesterday, so I'm good. Or hey, I it was a few months ago and I cleared resentment. I'm good. So no, we're not ever done, because emotions are coming to us all the time, and it's digging stuff up from the past that consciously we are not aware of. We're not aware of. And I was talking to a dear friend yesterday, and she said it in such a beautiful way. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a good analogy. So I want you to imagine with me, if you will, being a renter. Okay. Renter, when you're a renter, you're a tenant and you have a landlord, and you're in this space and you want to change it up. You want to put fresh paint on the walls. You want to, gosh, you're thinking, this room, I would look so much better if it was more open. So I'll just knock the wall out of here and, make it bigger. But guess what? We can't do that when we are tenants and renting. We cannot do that. It's not ours. We don't own it, right? And so it's just, you can't move forward in how you want, right? When we're renting, we can't move forward and do what we want with the place. But here's the deal. When you own it, you are able to go in and tear down walls and put on paint and add shelves and put your own flair onto things all you want, because you own it. So let me tell you, it is so important to own your emotions. If you can't own your emotions, and let's be honest, emotions aren't pretty. The emotions that you want to clear, it's not joy and excitement and love. Those are emotions that we don't need to clear. These are emotions that are welcome, and we love them, and we invite them in. But it's those emotions that creep up into us, like, being competitive and comparing ourselves, and not feeling worthy, not feeling good enough, and those emotions of resentment, grief, heartache, um, depression, anger, resentment, okay, bitterness. These are all emotions that aren't pretty, and they're not ones that we want to go, oh, hey, yeah, I have a problem with that, or hey, yeah, that's something I need to clear. So it's so important that we must be able to look at emotions and own them and say, yes, I have anger. I have built up bitterness. I have resentment. And you know what? As long as I have been into clearing emotions and being aware of stuff, just last night talking to my friend over hard stuff, right? Because we have hard stuff. I'm like, oh my goodness, here I've thought I was just fine in this area, but I still have emotions I need to clear. So when we have trauma or tragic events happen to us, we store these emotions, and they're like layers to an onion. And you think, okay, I'm good, I'm good, and in reality we're not, because we have layers and we've got to keep clearing. And this is what I have found myself to do, because when we're in denial, I was in denial on this emotion until last night. I'm like, oh my goodness, that has been holding me back. So our trapped emotions, our emotions that we're not willing to clear, our emotions that we're not willing to call out and own, they're trapped. If we're not willing to do it, we cannot progress forward. And so it's important to be able to progress and to own these emotions. So here I was like, oh my goodness, I thought I cleared this up, and logically I was fine. I made sense of the whole deal, and it's okay. And I finally came to an acceptance of this tragic event that had taken place in my life. But on the emotion end of it, I didn't clear it up. It was still trapped. And you know what I was doing to suppress it? I was grasping at anything to distract me, took on more work, busied myself into books, and busied myself into whatever it was that I could busy myself so that I didn't have to face that emotion head on. And I'm here to tell you, distractions are all over the place. And I even know about clearing emotions and what gets in the way. And here I am, I teach about it, but we all can fall into this funk. So I'm just letting you know, beware of the trap of distractions on clearing your emotions. And these emotions, although they're negative, they must be felt. We must allow ourselves to feel these emotions and to process through them and to recognize them and to own it. Owning it, taking accountability is the first and number foremost thing we can do. And then, you know what my favorite go to is? It is a book that I've read, and it's called Feelings Buried Alive Never Die by Carol Trueman. I highly recommend this book. So, pain, and I've said it before in other videos, but pain, physical pain, is attached. Most of our physical pain, well over 85%. It's at least 85%, but over 85%. And I dare to tell you it's closer to 95%. The majority of our pain is due to trapped emotions that we haven't cleared. It causes pain, discomfort, dis-ease, which later turns into disease if we don't take care of it. So it's so important that we take these emotions and be able to clear them. So I'm going to give a story. I was bloated one time after doing I'm a foot zoner, and after I did a foot zone session, I just felt so bloated and I was not feeling good. And I couldn't even get up from my chair for a minute. So I just let my client leave. I just said, hey, I've got to check on some messages on my phone. Of course, I wasn't going to let her know that I was in absolute pain and couldn't stand up. But I'm like, go ahead and see yourself to the door, and, I'll see you next time. And so I was just in a lot of pain, and I I was just like, oh my gosh, I couldn't even stand up straight to walk to my bed, but I barely made it to my bed. And I finally thought, oh my goodness, I hollered out to one of my kids. I'm like, hey, bring me my Feelings Buried Alive Never Die book. And I need to clear some emotions. And I had to go to some games that night with some kids, and there was no way I was feeling good at that point. And so I turned to my book and I looked up the emotions that are attached to bloating. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm just going to clear a few of these, go through a script. What I love about her, my faith base is in God and Christ. And so I love her book. She has a script to clear these negative emotions, and she includes God and Christ in the process. So it just, it resonates with me. So I went through three things to clear, and you know what? My pain was gone in under 5 minutes. Well, it wasn't completely gone. Let's just say that pain went from a 10 to a 3 in under 5 minutes. It made it so it was bearable for me to get up and walk around and say, okay, we got games to go to. And as I was sitting at games, the pain lessened and lessened. And before the end of the night, my pain was completely gone because I had cleared these emotions. Trapped emotions, are attached to a lot of the physical pain we're having. So it's so important to clear those emotions, or else it'll just wreak havoc on our bodies spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. So, like I said, the first important thing is to call it out, own it, and have some accountability over these negative emotions. we can say, well, so and so made me feel like this for so long because I was told I was stupid the whole time growing up. I just, we can't blame. It just must be that way. We can't blame how we feel or the anger towards somebody else. You know, for so long you can get away with that, but and then you come into the ages of accountability and then into adulthood, and it's like, my goodness, it is time to get past that, and it's time to have healing take place in your life, and that includes forgiveness and gratitude and clearing through those emotions. And using the script has helped so much. There's other tools that I use for clearing emotions. The burn, the write and burns, writing things, getting it from your heart and your mind out of yourself onto paper, and then get it all out. And of course, that's full of negative energy, right? We're angry, we're mad, we're bitter, we have resentment, and we're writing down all of our emotions and how we feel. It is so good to release. But we don't want to hang on to that and have that sitting around in our room or in our home. We want to burn it. We want to shred it or burn it and get rid of that energy. So that is highly suggested. So that's something that I will be focusing on the next little while as I am going through emotions and trying to release more and more emotions. You are never done releasing emotions. It's not something that you're like, okay, check, did that this weekend. For example, I did a forgiveness letter for myself, and it felt so healing, and it was healing. And I have forgiven myself for past mistakes that I've done. But here's the deal. Just because you have that one healing session and you're like, oh my goodness, that felt so good, you're not done. There are so many things to clear up and to heal from. And so it's important to call out those emotions, recognize what it is you're feeling, and sit with it. Be okay to be at the bottom, rock bottom. Be okay to feel that and soak that in and feel it. But guess what? Don't let those emotions unpack and stay for good. So it's so important to clear these emotions. And like I said, that's my favorite script that I go to, Feelings Buried Alive Never Die by Carol Trueman. And then just uh, the write and burns, and just bringing to an awareness of how you're feeling, that's taking ownership, and you will be amazed at how your emotions clear. And it is something that is suggested to do on a daily basis. This is something I'm still trying to get in the habit of doing it daily. But as you can see, this one particular emotion, I was letting it build up, build up, build up, and I wasn't willing to go there because I was finding all the distractions to keep myself from feeling those emotions. And so if you find yourself turning to distractions, whether it's food, and food's a big one for me and for most people, but turning to food, turning to work, turning to just busy things to keep your hands and mind busy. Not that working is not good, but it can be a problem when we're using it as a distraction and not willing to face those emotions that need to be cleared up. So go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel, and click on in the comments below. Let me know that you're committed to clearing your emotions. Do you agree the emotions cause most of your physical pain, trapped emotions? And I want to hear from you. Go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel and share it with others. And until next time, God bless.